Hi, welcome to Similar But Different, the podcast. Let's do that again. Okay. But I'm getting all the benefits.
Without having to pay.
Right.
Yeah, they screwed me. And then I found a bunch of friends that I was different from. I think I'd like the gram more if I got hit up in my DMs.
Okay, this should probably end. Hi, welcome to Similar But Different. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Rach.
How's it going?
That's good. Another weekend recording.
Yeah. I was just going to ask. So I got here, football game was on, and
Football Sundays.
we were watching the end of that because it was your team.
Man City.
And which I quickly got invested and wanted them to tie it up for you. But I was going to ask, like, with international teams, what makes one be like, oh, that's my team? Unless, I mean, I guess, obviously, if you have, like, a nationality or something, but it's not just like,
Sure.
oh, I love
Not the local
France.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's English Premier League, so they're all English teams.
Okay.
Because that's the league that I like. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I
leagues
honestly
in
didn't
Spain
even know that. I was just like, yeah, there's...
Yeah, no, I in college, so I'm a Carolina fan, UNC,
Okay.
Tar Heels,
And what
Carolina
made
Blue.
you a Carolina fan?
Well, my dad's side of the family is from North Carolina.
Okay, that makes sense.
And yeah, and Jordan, basketball, younger
Oh,
years.
okay, as in Michael.
I wasn't born at the time when he played in Carolina, but still, my dad was. He was a fan. I became a fan.
Okay.
So Carolina Blue, pretty blue, best blue color you'll ever find. And so when I was picking a team in college, there was actually a guy that we went to school with that we were friends with who was dating one of my friends. And he was a City fan. And I was like, oh, I like that color. That's a good color if I was going to support a team. And then I started following. He said, oh, yeah, this guy, Vincent Kompany's their defender, and he's really cool to follow on Instagram. So I started following him, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is nice.
Wait, we had Instagram in college?
In,
I guess
in
that's
2011.
true. Yeah, and we had the, like, 6 filters, and they were all, like, sepia tone.
I didn't do
Sepia.
the posting stuff, so
I know, but I'm just thinking of, like, those classic, like, if you saw a photo from that time on Instagram, you're like, yes.
That's old.
That
Old
is an
school.
OG Instagram post. And it was just like, you would post a picture of a cup of coffee.
Yeah. It might have been Twitter at the time. I don't remember, but it was one of those.
Okay.
So I followed him, and yeah. Since then, I've been a City fan.
You know, as a big sports fan, it's surprising to me to hear you pick a team based on their color.
Yeah, well, like you said, like I had no ties to any of those teams. And I don't know, it was one of those things where you, like anybody that picks a team, they likely like players on that team.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm sure a lot of people back in the day became Chicago Bulls fans because of Michael Jordan. And I liked Kompany, the defender, Yaya Toure, and then Kun Aguero, who's
Of course.
was their forward at the time.
These names
So
I
I
know.
liked watching those players, but I will say United is Nathan's team. So Manchester City and Manchester United, opposite sides of the track.
Oh, wow. And you
Type.
guys still
Blue versus red.
push through together
Yeah.
in marriage.
Oh,
A house divided.
We're like divided on everything except for college, I think.
Okay.
College sports.
What's your football team?
Yeah, so I'm technically a Washington now Commanders fan, and he's a Cowboys fan.
Oh. The Cowboys are good, though, right? And the Cowboys and the Commanders are not.
I mean, the Commanders were good back in the day.
Way back in the
Way
day.
back in the day.
Even I know that.
Yeah. And then the Cowboys, I wouldn't say that they were also good more recently.
Okay.
Not current, though.
Oh, okay.
They're okay.
It's pretty competitive between their two lacklusterness.
Kind of. Right now, I think the Cowboys have been taking it for the last couple years.
Okay.
But that's
Kind
all
of
right.
like the way that UVA and Tech are rivals, but
Yes.
Tech is good and UVA is not.
Yes.
Which I am from a UVA household.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Rivals.
Yeah.
Because that college is the thing that I think we're okay. Like, hokey football, check. Also hokey basketball.
My dad went to UVA and played. He was a pitcher on the baseball team there. And
that's
then
cool.
and Skylar's dad is a huge UVA fan, which made Skylar a big UVA fan.
Makes
But
sense.
it's funny because I guess a game was on yesterday and someone was telling Skylar, like, check the score and was like, hey, they're up this, like 4 minutes left. And they were like, don't worry, it's UVA. They can still blow it. Like, he's very real
He
about
knows.
their
Yeah.
quality because regularly he's like, oh, skill wise, they should win this game. We'll see.
That doesn't mean shit. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, the Hokies are shit this year. Well, no, they're not shit, but it's just, I think I was just saying how Nathan was all upset because he gets really into the football season.
Yeah.
And every year the Hokies get their team really excited. It's going to be a good year. And
Yeah.
then,
I can't imagine putting so much of my emotional energy into like a sports team winning something unless I was betting on it.
oh
Because I'm
man,
like, it's kind of a bummer to be like, oh, so and so's going to be in a bad mood all day because their team lost. Then I'm kind of like, priorities.
I mean, yeah, I do it. I do it. I don't get as in bad of
But
a
like,
mood,
I think you will be.
but
I've been around you. I feel like when your team loses and you're bummed, but you're not like,
it's not
I'm
gonna.
not like, I can't be around Jen today.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah, I'm
I'm
not like
sure
that.
some like
Nathan was like that.
toxic, like, well, I don't know. You know, you worry about that's getting really dark. I was just like, I don't know if the relationship isn't healthy and it's like, oh
Oh,
no, the team lost today and they're like, because people also like drink when they watch games
yeah.
and then they get really
Well, the
upset.
gambling aspect of it can be really dark too.
Yeah.
Because if you're really bad
But
with
in
gambling.
that, I could see being like, fuck, I just lost $5,000.
Hopefully it's only $5,000.
Yeah, I'm like, probably it's like 30.
Yeah.
But and that putting a damper on your mood, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, I can do that. We only like to gamble. I say that, I don't know. We just every year we gamble during March Madness. So the college basketball NCAA tournament is what really gets us into
And
it.
how much are you invested?
Like $5 to $10 per bet.
Oh, okay. Wait, so how much does that add up to?
It depends on like what you're betting against, what the odds are.
Sure, but I'm saying like every season, are you like could be in for 1,000? Like, what's the
Oh,
highest
yeah.
you're putting on the line in a given season?
Well, across multiple bets, we started with $100, and then each year, whatever we have for the next year is what we bet with.
Oh, okay, that's
So
fun.
if we go over, I think right now we're at the under. We're in like 90. We have $90
Yeah.
in the account. But like at the start of this past season or tournament, we had more than 90. I think we had like 160.
Yeah.
And so we placed a lot of maybe careless bets.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of fun when you just have like this is the betting money.
Well, that's what
And if
makes
you
March
like
Madness
end
fun.
a season with
Yes.
$12, you're like, will you say, oh, we have $12 for next season, or will you put more in?
I don't know. We haven't gotten to that yet. We'll see.
It won't happen. You will continue to win.
I hope so. We need just enough money to be able to still place small bets here and there.
And, like,
because
have
that's
fun,
how you
yeah.
like get really into the games that are blowouts because you're still hoping for like an over or an under or whatever you're betting or gambling on, which is fun. That's how when you see people really cheering on a game that's 40-point difference, it's because they're betting on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I find this interesting.
Yeah,
It's just like
sports.
so not, especially like making bets, even like casual betting of like, okay, if this happens, then you have to buy dinner for the group or something. I'm like,
Mhm.
that is not exciting to
What?
me. I mean, the only time once I was
When you
hanging
win
out
it.
with some friends and a guy was like, really liked this show. And he was like, it's kind of like the British version of Friends. And let's watch the pilot episode. And if you all aren't into it, then I will buy pizza for the group.
Ooh,
And
solid.
it was not good. So we got
Oh.
pizza. So that was very exciting.
See, I feel like it's good when you get to reap the benefits.
Yeah.
That's that feeling that you had. That's what hooks people. That's what gets them into it.
I mean, I know I tell the story all the time of when I was at a Mason Patriots basketball game. And it was like, if the Patriots score this many points, everyone gets a
Yes.
voucher for free wings at Glory Days. And Skylar's like, I've never seen you care about something so much. But that's not like a bet. That's just like
You get a prize.
winning a prize.
Which is
And that
how
kind of
they get
stuff
ya.
I get into. So honestly, that guy was like, this sucks for you because even unless like I love the show Friends. So unless I thought this pilot episode, which is a risky choice, the pilot episode of something, unless I was like, it's equally as good as friends, which is already part like ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
impossible for you to win.
you
So I
can't
was
do
like,
that
yeah,
with
you're buying this pizza.
a friend's
Yeah.
loyalist.
Yeah.
True stan.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so that's been relaxing, and watching sports has been my life. But the reason we're recording on a weekend is because I was out all week for a work event.
Yes.
And then this Friday, Saturday, you went off and did something fun.
Yeah, so a friend of ours was running in an ultra marathon
right.
through the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's called like the Grindstone race. It is a 100-mile race.
It's absurd.
Yes.
It's insane.
And so we were on his pit crew, which essentially it was like there's certain sections in the race of like, okay, you can have people like meet you here to like refill your water and your snacks and stuff like that, because it takes I think the person who finished did it in like 21 or 22 hours, and you're just like running it straight. So you like you need people to refuel you and stuff.
So the goal is you to finish within 24 hours, right? Or is it just you finish?
There is a cutoff time.
And
I
you
don't
said
remember what it was.
Is there only one person that did it?
No, there was like
Oh.
300 people that did it. I'm saying just to give people like an idea of how long it takes.
22
The person
hours.
who finished first did it in 22 hours.
100 miles in 20. That's insane.
Yeah. And to put it in perspective, so when we were driving home, Skylar was like, we were like passing Stanton, and he was like, from our house to where we are now in Stanton is like 108 miles.
Jeez.
And someone was like, I don't even like driving 100 miles.
Yeah, no.
And these people are running 100 miles. But so we were his first like pit crew stop, which was estimated gonna be between like 11 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Okay. Ooh.
And also like this trail is through the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's not just like
on a straight path, like
yeah,
no,
like
you're
think like there are
hiking.
insane inclines and declines, like people keep poles with them and stuff, like it is insane. And the race started at 6 p.m. so he's running through the dark. He said for about like they all have headlamps and stuff.
Yep. Okay.
For about 5 miles, he was like no one was around him. He was completely alone, just like running through the mountains in the middle of the night.
That's scary.
And then they can really like mess like with
your
you.
head.
I was like, I don't even like driving through back roads at night by myself. I like roll up my windows because I'm like, this is a horror movie and I will be attacked.
There's so many horror movies like that.
Exactly.
I know. That's why I don't watch horror movies too. Gives you ideas.
But he ended up reaching. There is also an app to track him, but the service in the mountains isn't great.
Oh God.
So
that is 100% a horror movie, by the way.
He ended. Yeah, that's true.
All the racers in the 100-mile race.
People start getting picked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is dark.
Anyways,
he got to us around 2 a.m. and we were like, something
is off.
Yeah, he had texted Skylar. And eventually Skylar got like a handful of text messages and he was like, I'm having some GI issues, so I'm going to be a little later. Just like, don't leave, essentially, your post. Or he was like probably just apologizing. He wasn't telling us to leave.
Yeah.
We're like, of course we're going to stay and wait for you. And he comes running in and I can just like tell. I was like, I mean, he's by our point, he had run 32.4 miles. We're the first like larger stop. I think there was one like smaller, like probably first aid you can refuel, but your people aren't allowed to be there. Stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was only like 4 or so where it's like you can have
people,
your pit crew
for your sanity also. Too.
Yeah. And he also he's been like training for this for like a year. He's been training with all the same like fuel and stuff because you have to keep like electrolytes on you and food because you have to be constantly consuming like calories because you're just like burning them off because you're running so much. And he was fine with all that stuff. He's like, this is the stuff that works for me and my body. And about an hour, 2 hours in, he said he just started puking.
Oh God.
And he could not stop. So he started at 6 p.m. He got to us at 2 a.m. and he said within the first 2 hours he had been puking. So he essentially had like
Nothing on his
run
stomach
25 miles just like vomiting everything he ate.
coming
He would
out.
just vomit it up. And he was trying not to
God.
stop. So he was like, literally, I would be running and vomiting at the same time. And he's like, in a
Oh.
couple miles, I just had to walk because it was so bad.
Is that like an adrenaline thing? Like you're just so like it's the day's finally here. What you've been training for is finally here that you're just kind of like,
Well, so we talked to the medic at our station, and he said he was like, I'll be honest with you. I usually hand out like 2 to 3 Tylenol and like 50 GI related like meds because people get nauseous because your body, it's just like you like your stomach is not prepared to be like consuming all that and burning it off so quickly.
oh shit.
So it's like such a common thing. And then it
Mm-hmm.
also like sucks. But also, well, one, so he ended up doing a DNF, which is a do not finish, because the medic was like, if you are feeling nauseous, then we might be able to like get you back into a good place. But most people, if you've already been vomiting for as long as you have, it's gonna be really hard for you to finish. So
Oh Jesus.
I was really, really proud of him for just being like, okay, I'll do a DNF. Because to be training for that long and
Yeah,
then
that sucks.
it does. But also, I'm like, you still ran 32.4 miles
Oh shit. So he's
while, because that's how long it took him to get to us,
yeah.
while you were vomiting
Oh
like almost the entire time through the middle of the night. So I'm like, you should be fucking so proud of yourself. And
yeah.
you learned something about your
For next time.
body and stuff.
No,
Well, he
I'm
is.
sure he's gonna. Yeah.
He was like, maybe I'll do like the 50 miler next year, which
Jesus.
I'm still like is wild.
Yeah.
Um, and
That's.
then selfishly, because of that, like we got to spend more time with them because
Oh,
we
that's
just like
nice.
spent the weekend camping and stuff.
Rather than having to, yeah. Well, not having to, but rather than him running and you hanging out with everybody
Yeah,
else.
but it was so weird because when we got there around like 7 on Friday, so we missed him like starting the race. But every hour or so, Sky would be like, "Kyle's just running." Like we're just laughing, having a good time,
It's
eating
gotta be like,
snacks. I'm like,
update, Kyle's still running.
yeah, still running. And then we didn't even know that he's actually like running and puking his
Throwing
guts
up.
out.
Yeah.
Before we left our station at like 3 a.m.,
Oof.
I was literally, it was like surround sound of like other runners on either side of me puking their
Oh God.
bodies
So
up.
just that's just what a lot of people were doing, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
And like one guy, I heard him, it sounded like everything in his body was coming out of him. And I heard him do that 8 times consecutively.
Oh Jesus. That's
So I
ugh.
am still like, Kyle, you are fucking badass. Literally the next day we went on a little like quarter-mile hike to this overlook. But it was like pretty much straight up a mountain, which one made me be like, wow, you
We're running through
this
this.
was what you were running through. 2, he did this in flip-flops and got to the top and was fine. And I was like, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, you should be really proud of what your body can do.
Totally. But also, Kyle, maybe you're a little crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of people choose to sign up for 100-mile run? Maybe your body's just telling you what everybody's thinking is that no human is supposed to do this. Don't sign up for this.
I do think it's like, I can imagine the feeling though of like, I'm not a runner. And because I'm not a runner, anything like the most I've ever run consecutively is like 4 miles and
Yeah.
like a corporate race. And because I'm so bad at running, I've been like, wow, that I'm so proud of me. So I can imagine that feeling of like being able to accomplish something so intense. I mean, I could never do 100 miles.
No, never.
But he is also like, I don't know, like a man of the elements, like
Yeah.
hunter, very fit. Like when he said he was going to do this, I was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That tracks. Yeah. What's a 10K? How many miles is that?
I don't know. I know a marathon's like 28.2 or something.
Yeah, because of the half marathon's 13.1, but I don't know how many miles that is. I just know that's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. That's the longest I've run is a 10K. And
Okay.
I did not feel proud of myself afterwards.
You were just like, I hate
I
this.
was pissed. I was irritated that I got convinced by corporate. It's like, well, they're paying for it, and it was going to be a fun thing that everybody was going to do, and it's always on monuments. I was like, this is cool,
Yeah.
right? You know, I usually am watching and drinking, watching
Right.
people run by. I'm not meant to run those. So,
Did you train for it?
no, because I was an athlete,
Of
right?
course you did.
Naturally, I
You
can.
would have crushed it.
Yeah, I can run a 10K easily, no big deal. But like that was probably the worst possible thing because I was not fit to run that long of a period of time at a pace that I thought I should have been at. And then every time someone would like run by me and they looked like I should be able to beat them, I would just run faster.
Yeah.
And so then I was like completely dead at the end of all of that. Yeah.
After we did our little quarter-mile hike up and down the mountain, I went in to the like camp store because they had a water refill station in there.
Mm,
And because of me, like, granted, when I really exert myself, my whole face turns red. But even if I slightly exert myself, my whole face
same.
turns red. And I went in there and they were like, "Oh, did you just finish the 50K?" And I said, no, I walked for about 20 minutes up the mountain."
Shit. Shit. You look like you just did the 100,000
Yeah, and other people
miles.
who were finishing were just like,
Just
so it's very
That's how I would have been
humbling.
too. So I totally get what that feeling is like.
Yeah. But I did tell him, I was like, I'm excited for next year. Um, I think it's fun to be able to like help out
Yeah, I
a
think that's
friend in
cool.
that way.
Yeah.
And it was just like a fun event for me. So they
So
provided us with
regardless
all
of
the
how you
camping
did,
stuff.
Kyle, Rachel had
Yeah, I had
fun.
a good
So
time. So I don't know what you're bummed about.
that's oh man, that's
I made a
nuts.
sign I was very proud of. I
Yeah.
was like, I did nothing to prep for this. Like his wife is so organized and like created this like timetable of like times to expect him and what
Oh,
you need to
nice.
do at your pit stop, and these are the things you need to refuel him with and everything. And I was like,
Great to have someone
I
like that.
went to the Dollar Tree, got a poster board, got some markers, and made a sign.
That's more than I would have done.
And at one point, I was like, Skylar, do you think I'm making too big of a deal about my sign? And he's like, maybe. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. And then like no one else had signs. Like no one, like the pit crew stops were filled with, other people's people.
and
And
no
I
one
was
had
like,
signs?
okay, clearly people aren't willing to cheer on their person the way
Yeah.
that I am.
Well, other people sound lame.
Yeah.
I would have blah, blah, blah. I would have appreciated the sign,
Thank you.
and I'm sure Kyle did.
Yeah. I think he did too. Oh, you're welcome.
I think what we've learned though is that human beings aren't meant to run 100 miles. No, just kidding. It's only the crazy people out there that sign up for that.
Yeah, but very impressive.
Very impressive.
More so, I just feel like your body hurts so much after that I'm like, it's
How do
not
you
worth it. That
recover?
was one thing. He was really frustrated because when he got to our stop, he was like, my legs aren't bothering me, my knees aren't
He was
bothering
ready to
me.
keep going if he wasn't just vomiting everywhere.
Yeah. And so they gave him this like intense nausea-y stuff to help settle your stomach. And he was like, well, I'm feeling better. And the medic was like, because even he was saying, he was like, my biggest fear is that like his struggle at that point was, I'm starting to feel a little better, but if I keep going, I need to run minimum 13 more miles to like get to the next point. And what if I just start puking that entire time?
Ooh. And then you're at the dark. No one's around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
So
great.
I think I was like, what a sign of strength to just be like, I need to not do this. I need
Yeah,
to stop.
a lot of people, that's really hard for people to do, is
Yeah.
to know when the right time is to stop.
Yeah, and it was wild because even we were like using the app to track like, oh, when is the first person expected to finish? And you would just see people like dropping out, dropping out, dropping out. Because I think it started with like 300 some and maybe ended with like 100
Huh.
because they're getting picked off
Pick
by the monster in the
the monster
woods.
in the woods. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a good plot for a movie.
Yeah.
mean, they need new material. I feel like every movie is just a remake or a prequel or a sequel or something. So
Sure.
this is a new one,
Yeah,
more
from all those
realistic.
producers out there listening,
Yeah.
here's an idea.
Just throw in some like werewolves. Can you outrun the wolf?
Oh, interesting. I was definitely thinking like a psycho man in the woods.
Yeah, but then he'd have to be able to run really fast, and it'd be unrealistic if you have all these people training for 100 miles and then you just have some guy out there that's able to like run and catch up to all of them.
Well,
Maybe
they're
maybe
not
that's
all
just me.
sprinting. And when you've been running for 30 miles, your pace probably slows a little bit, you
Oh,
know?
that's a good point.
Do you want to come on up, Penny? A dog has entered the chat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It does seem a little crazy to me. But like to put a murderer human out there. I feel
Well,
like the wolves thing is like
kind of like when a shark goes like Jaws, when it
yeah,
just starts to attack and kill people, or like the whales, what they're doing now. That's real life.
the killer whales.
Yeah, and just being like, yacht, no thank you. Time for you to capsize.
I haven't seen that, but I love that because killer
Wait,
whales
you
are
haven't
super
heard about
smart.
that?
No,
Okay, these whales have
killer
been
whales
like,
like the orcas,
yeah, I think
right?
so.
The black with the white one with the white.
Maybe, I'm not sure the species of whale, but
Oh, okay.
probably have been like getting revenge on these mega yachts and like butting into them and making them capsize. And the story that I heard is that
Shit.
one of them, I mean, this was like big a few months ago. I feel like people were talking about it.
Oh,
Um, one of them, like a yacht ran in to like some lady orca and like maybe a child, and the mom was like, that's not cool. And the
oh,
mom went to her family
yeah, because they travel
and
in
was like,
packs,
let's fuck shit up
and they all just like
because they're smart.
yeah.
And so now, like, these mega yachts, it was like, I don't care. As a mega yacht, you are not welcome in our ocean.
Shit. What
You
is a
hurt
mega
my
yacht?
baby girl.
Yeah,
I guess just a yacht.
just a yacht. Okay, but
But I'm
still.
sure there's like and more intense ones, you know.
Oh yeah, no,
Basically, like the ultra wealthy,
yeah.
the orcas were like, not today.
Shit. That's so crazy that if they were able to like actually capsize a fucking huge yacht.
Yeah,
It's a little scary.
yeah. But also awesome.
I
I
mean,
just
it's
think
pretty
it's
badass.
so cool that this like this like mother whale was like, I'm gonna
Not my
get my
baby.
mom and sisters.
Yeah.
Like, we're not grabbing the men, they're not helpful. We're gonna get the ladies and take this boat down.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, that's what's super cool about orcas, I feel like. I remember Shark Week, they talk about how they'll like a pack of orcas will like basically go get a shark alone
Yeah.
and have it flip upside down because they know that once the shark's upside down, they like kind of lose their ability to swim. And then so they like would literally just turn sharks upside down to fuck with them.
Wow. And this is why I don't like open water.
Yeah, no, this is exactly why open water is not like we don't even know. These are just the species we know about that we're talking about right now, and they're
Yeah.
genius.
And I think in the fears episode, I think I brought this up that one of my fears is being next to things larger than me in the ocean.
Yeah, yeah, I don't understand why people like that. Even smaller, I anything like fucking octopuses,
Uh,
octopi,
that's not the right one. I would say octopi, if anything.
octopuses. um, they are like genius too.
Yeah.
And that's just if we have multiple things now in the water
They're smarter
that are smart,
and
yeah,
strong.
it's like don't go
They
in there.
basically, it's kind of like the aliens. So they're just
The
like
aliens.
the aliens. Like the animals in the ocean are like these little humans just floating around on their boats. Like
Thinking that they're
we're not
fine.
gonna bother them. They think they're just having fun. And that's how kind of I feel like the aliens are like, oh, the monkeys on the earth, like just playing their games, watching their programs.
Yep.
But they're of like high intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's how I think the orcas see us.
As just
But we're
stupid.
like, we have opposable thumbs, so come at me.
Yeah. I mean this is cool, I guess.
Sure. Jen's looking at her thumbs for those listening.
Yeah. I mean it's like I think I'd be fine without my thumbs. If it meant I could be an orca,
Okay,
those things are
so
fucking badass.
you would rather be an orca than have thumbs.
No, if I didn't have thumbs, it'd be okay to be an orca. Like, if
Okay, so if you lost your thumbs in an accident
oh god, I mean, I wouldn't want to.
and someone was like, okay, you can live your life with paws, or you can become an orca,
Well, I
you
mean,
would choose
I
orca.
would snap the opportunity to become an orca just because that sounds badass. But no, I'm saying if I were gonna be any animal without opposable thumbs, I'd want to be an orca. Like that seems like a
Not a
decent
giraffe.
trade. Well, giraffes are kind of cool as shit
I
too.
would
You're
rather
right.
be
No, an
on
orca's
safari than
badass.
in the ocean because I don't like the ocean. It's
Yeah, but if you're
scary.
an orca in the ocean, you're like the lion.
That's
I
true.
feel like
But
you're
then
at the
I'd
top of the
rather
food
be a
chain.
lion. But lions get poached. Do orcas? I guess people do kill.
Do they? I know that like because I think they accidentally die from like getting caught in nets or things like that.
Okay, so from humans polluting the earth.
Yeah, but
Great.
I don't think that it's a scenario. Well, I meant like fishing nets and stuff, but
Well, and
and probably also
also
things.
pollution.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe that those straws are getting them like they're getting the turtles
Yeah.
or the one turtle that maybe that died. We don't really know.
Yeah. Part of me, I mean, granted,
I
single use
question that.
plastic is not good, but I do think. Are you saying it is good?
No, I'm saying I agree with that.
You made a face like, gosh, Rachel doesn't like single use plastic. I'm like, gosh, pro plastic over here. Good.
I mean, have you seen the stuff about plastic all in our bodies too? It's
Yeah.
not
I'm
surprising.
made of plastic.
We probably,
All the
yeah.
microplastics. Honestly, these mics, they're probably
Plastic.
sending out plastic fumes.
Eat
What
'em.
was something? There's plastic in our tampons.
Jesus.
There,
Wait.
I do eventually get to a point. So, like, this is something that Skylar and I go back and forth on because you introduced me to that Yuka app. So, for those,
Yeah.
it's YUKA, and it is a cool app. And you can scan food and like beauty products,
Yep.
and it tells you, like, it gives them a score from poor to excellent, I think.
Yeah. It's
Um,
out of 100.
yeah, and all the things it looks at like basically how much is it bad for your body internally, and it also like what it does for the environment and
Talks
stuff
about
like
like
that.
additives and things that are like toxic
Yeah,
and
or like this can disrupt your endocrine system. And I also notice it does like the endocrine system of like the environment versus
oh.
your own body or being like a hormone disruptor, which I think is interesting because our hormones are all out of whack because of the things that we eat and everything and what's in the environment.
Mm.
But Skylar was like, I can see you going down a dangerous path with this. He's
Oh,
like, do not go into my bathroom and throw out all my products.
yeah, scan.
And
That
I was
he's
like,
right though.
he is. And it's more so when I have an opportunity to make a swap
Uh-huh.
that gets a better score, I will.
Yes. I'm not gonna like
But
throw
I'm not
something
gonna throw
existing
out
away.
stuff that I have.
That's how I was.
But wait,
At least
microplastics,
educates you.
tampons. Oh, I get to a point where it's like so many commonplace things that we use are bad for us that then it's almost like overload of information that then I just don't care at all because it's all like, well, something's going to kill me. And I'm like, I'm not going to stop. I've tried granted, I've only tried one of the various like menstrual cups and it
Oh.
didn't work for me. I didn't like it. And I'm like, I don't like, I'm not going to give up my Tamps.
Yeah, no.
And
I'm
I've
not.
tried using like organic tampons and they do not absorb as well.
An organic tampon.
Just, yeah,
Jesus.
made with better like materials because you are like sticking it up in you and it is just
Yeah.
like in your body for a while. So you don't really want to be putting bad stuff up there.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ooh, period underwear. So I got some of that. And then there's an article that's like, period underwear, microplastics, blah, blah, blah. And the plastics, Mean Girls.
I was gonna say I immediately thought of Mean Girls. The plastics rule the
And like
school.
everything you cook with has
The
plastics that are
rule.
emitting. And I'm
You
like,
can't get away from it.
unless you are going to give me a voucher to replace all my cookware, maybe the next time I need to buy cookware,
Which
I
is
will think
when?
about
How often
never,
do people
never. Like, I'm not gonna. Stuff like that, it takes a really long time for me. Like, it has to snap in half
Yeah.
for me to
Or I have to
replace
like
it.
really fuck it up.
Yeah, because then also you're like, well, I don't want to just throw something in the landfill.
Well, yeah. Honestly, it's just all bad. It's a dark path we're headed down, and I'm not helping. I'm not making a positive contribution. I know that.
Well, we can only do so much as individuals.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So there's like little swaps that I make here and there, but I could live the greenest life there is, and maybe it would make me feel better,
But
but
it's
it
not
wouldn't
really gonna have an
change
impact. Yeah.
Earth,
Yep.
our mother.
Our mother.
Mother.
Mother. Mom.
Hey, mom. Hey, mom.
Hey, ma.
That's funny.
Hey, ma.
I've never thought about being like, oh, Mom Earth. Mommy Earth.
Mommy Earth. Yeah. Weekend giggles. Yeah. Anywho.
So yeah, you hate running?
Yeah, no, I can't run. So maybe that's why I hate it, because I hate things that, like, I can't effectively do well.
Yeah, but you also played basketball. I know, granted, that's not like running long distance. It's
Yeah.
a different type of endurance.
Yeah, you do not need to be able to run long distance. Very different type of endurance. But I still never understood why we had to run a 4-miler in college. It was
Yeah.
like our preseason stuff, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. It's the exact opposite that I need to be preparing for.
Once in elementary school, we were starting, it was mile day. And which, as someone who's never been a runner, I hated that day.
Yeah.
And we started off, got to do 4 laps around the field. And I'm going to say within 3 minutes, a bee stung me in the neck.
Shit.
And I was like, ah, excellent.
As if they
because I have to
shit.
go to the nurse. One,
You
it was my first
celebrated that.
bee sting ever.
Oh.
So granted, they're like, we don't know if she's allergic.
Yep.
And even if I wasn't, if a 5th grader gets a bee sting, like, they're gonna go to the nurse. They're not gonna say,
Yeah.
power through, cave.
You're not getting out of this mile.
Yeah.
Fake bee sting.
Right.
She poked herself with a needle.
Yeah.
I feel like that's that shit I would have like thought of. How to get out of this.
Be like, she's actually bleeding a lot. That's weird for a bee sting.
Don't do that. It was like a wasp hornet thing.
Yeah.
So these murder hornets.
Yeah, I don't know. Cicadas, something.
Cicadas. Yeah. Yeah, running doesn't make sense to me. But I think it's great for people who like to run.
Yeah,
Some people
his
find it very
trainer was
cathartic.
there. And she was really fun. I enjoyed hanging out with her, but I was talking about how the times that I have run, I feel really good about myself because I'm so not a runner. She was like, "Well, I can train you for the like Richmond blah blah blah." And I was like, "No." I don't honestly think like even the hike that we did up the mountain that was only a quarter mile, I didn't have my brace on me and my knee hurts today. And I
Yeah.
knew that was going to happen. And I was like, "No, I cannot be a runner. That would be stupid."
Yeah. I just like running. It's funny you say you had a trainer because like remember Tom when he was doing some running stuff, he said he went and talked to someone about your gait, basically how you run, because that has a huge impact
Yeah.
on like your strides and all of that. So like I already know my body was not meant to run distance or just run in general because my nickname in college was a newborn fawn. They called me fawn as in like a newborn baby deer.
Right.
Because my legs don't look like they should be moving. They're not ready to walk yet, much less run. It was a whole thing. But like that's how I know that like probably that's most of my injuries and ailments are from the fact that I probably don't have the right type of like gait for running.
Yeah.
In sports and stuff. And that's why you shouldn't run.
I say this a lot, so I probably already told you this about what Skylar described my pace as once when we did a 5K together.
No?
So towards the end, he had already finished and he came and found me and was like jogging a little alongside me. And my goal was just, I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And so he was like, very proud of you. Just want you to know that at the end there, your pace looked like someone who's pretending to pick up the pace when they cross the street because a car is coming. So like my arms had the movement of like, oh, I'm going faster.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, yeah, that's accurate.
So you'd be a really good speed walker.
Yes.
Because that's basically what that is, right? It's like you're not really running, you're walking at a fast pace.
I do love to walk. So
I like walking, but it definitely not at a fast pace.
yeah. Yeah. So recently my I've been struggling with finding ways to, like, get my heart rate up because my back hurts, my knee hurts.
Yep.
But I'm like, I feel like I wanna get my heart rate up somehow. So I've been doing, like, an intense incline on the treadmill, but at a very slow pace.
Yeah.
Um, and it's at a 1.8, which to me, I'm like, "That feels good."
Yeah.
And then there's, like, really old people next to me walking at, like, 3 miles per hour, which I think is, like, the standard that I see other people walking on the treadmill at, and I'm like, "I'm at 1.8."
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
And
as
I know I shouldn't compare myself to
true.
them, um, and I have my ailments, but I'm also like, "I'm young."
Do you like the treadmill? Or, like, cause have you tried the, like, elliptical or
So the elliptical
stationary
bothers
bike?
my back problem because I'm, like, slightly hunched forward, like, holding so, like, unless I can I don't know, it's like and, like, the resistance
Uh-huh.
is bad for me.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I've just, like, noticed that it
Yeah, if it
bothers my
bothers you, yeah.
back, and so I like doing an incline on the treadmill because what feels best for my knee and back is being able to, like,
Lean back a little
lean
bit.
back while I do stuff.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I really liked the elliptical just for my knee pain,
Yeah.
and I felt like, well, also that's what my doctors told me too, cause my lower back, the, um, herniated disc, um, it was like, "Oh, the elliptical is good because you don't have the pounding."
Yeah.
And so I liked the elliptical and I stayed away from the treadmill, but then I've just gotten really into the, stationary bike. I feel like and that's why we got one because I feel like I was getting more of a workout from the stationary bike, which seems odd because in elliptical, you're, like, moving a lot, but I like the stationary bike now.
For a period of time, I was on the thing that you just, like, sit down and push it, you know? The, like, old people rehab machine.
Your hands or your
These
legs?
are my
So
legs.
you're like a seated bike, but not a bike, it's just like a pushy thingy?
Yeah, you're essentially this is people need to watch to understand what I'm doing, but if my hands are my legs and you're just, like, in a seat
Yep.
and you're not, like, cycling because that was bothering my
You're
knee. You're
pushing.
literally just pushing back and forth.
Oh, I don't think I've seen one of those.
Well, I go to the Y, and the Y is for the elderly, so
Oh, so it's
that's
a
probably
it
why, and I saw them when I
tailors
was,
to
like, at
old.
my, physical therapy place.
Oh.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Well, this is for you, you old
Do
lady."
you like it? You like the way that
No.
Oh.
Well, I don't like it because I liked it when my ailments were worse because I felt like I was finding some way to move my body. Because if I, like,
Uh-huh.
walked a mile, that would become painful. If I did, like, anything and, like, that I could just do, I'm like, "Okay, at least I'm, like, moving my joints and
Yeah.
doing something."
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I feel like I get plenty of cardio from the walks I take with Penny that I'm less interested in doing the stationary bike for like 30 minutes to an hour and more interested in doing like weights.
Yeah, I wanna get into some weights.
Yeah.
I wanna feel strong.
Yeah. I think that's my and I'm getting better and better with my knee and able to do more and more things, so I feel like I just want to shift to that and focus
Yeah.
on that. We'll see. It's a it's a whole thing working out.
Yeah, working out. I guess I should have asked my friend if he was okay with me talking about his running journey on this podcast. I feel like he would.
I
Um,
I
I'll
only have
text him
one
after this,
question.
and if he says no, then this episode will be 6 minutes.
Yeah. I only have one question around these race things because this is what I've heard from other people that run races. So, as you mentioned, you're running 100 miles. One person finished it in 22. The bathroom situation. I'm
Mhm.
assuming for guy runners, they might like just easily step over to a tree and pee really quick.
Yeah.
But I have heard from female runners that they just piss on themselves when they're doing those long distant mile runs.
Yeah.
So my question would be, did he pee on himself or did he relieve himself? Because I'm in the
He
middle
did
of
not
vomiting.
he did not pee on himself because he
Oh,
did tell us that he had to pee, while he was running, and he just whipped it out and went. But with
ease of the
guys, you
hand.
could probably just, like, whip it out and keep running.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you could, like,
Or
probably pull your shorts
yeah, if
up a
you
little
like
bit.
don't want to pee on yourself, just kind of like keep running, but like, you can aim. Guys can aim.
What are you, like, peeing between your legs as you're running?
Sure.
Teepee, 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 and just
Yeah.
keeping your legs out wider.
And girls can't do that.
Well, yeah, I
Now,
know that.
maybe they should make running shorts or running leggings for ladies that have a zipper crotch.
A
And you
zipper
can just
crotch?
open it. I
That
guess
is
you'd have to like
genius.
pee and waddle because it's still gonna just like, but to just be able to like squat real quick and pee. Because I know like campers
You have
have
those little
like
cup things.
funnels and
Yeah,
stuff.
which, either way, it's weird.
But
And
also like runners like having to like poop while they're on a run, that's
yeah,
very common. And you're not
really?
gonna poop your pants. Also, you're like, yeah, you're consuming so much water and food on this fuel. Like you have to eat and like do all this stuff while you're running. So you got to evacuate.
Oh, yeah. I just wanna understand the bathroom
One of the
habits of
things
runners.
in the pit crew kit was a roll of toilet paper. And it's like, oh, if he's used it, we'll like take off some squares and he'll put it in his like running pack.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the doo-doo.
Yeah. For the number twos.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured that's kind of every episode I feel like we go back to going to the bathroom, um, or shitting and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just thought that sounded nuts. That yeah, you just pee yourself. But
I
I
just feel like
mean,
that would be awful because of chafing.
well, they have like cross country runs as like sports in the Olympics and stuff.
Yeah.
And who's gonna stop to relieve themselves when everybody else is
When a
just
medal is on
just
the
yeah,
line.
just
Yeah.
powering through and pissing their pants?
Yeah. I just think of like,
I don't blame them. I would do it if it
but
meant
then if you get like
win.
a rash,
I mean, you probably do rash up.
that's why I can't be a runner because that is a kind of discomfort that I can't handle.
I mean, have you seen the male nipples from their shirts?
Oh,
They, like,
well, yeah. I
bleed.
saw like guys,
The
because also
Office.
we had a change of clothes for him, like if he needed it, if he like got too sweaty and wanted to swap out his socks or clothes or whatever.
They Band-Aid their nipples.
Yeah. And so when guys were changing, I was like, yeah.
Those are
I
nipple
didn't ask
covers. I
him if
have
he did
those.
that, but
Just kidding.
yeah, when I go to a fancy event.
Yeah, let me just cover these nipples and
Actually, I've never worn that because I can't go braless.
oh.
Um,
Oh my gosh. This is completely off topic, but I
Excellent.
saw so the Hustle magazine that I get, or not, it's not a magazine, the Hustle email that I get. One of
wait,
their
isn't Hustler like a porn magazine?
yeah, it's not Hustler, it's
Oh, it's
Hustle.
Hustle.
Hustle. It's more like business side of things. I think it was in the Hustle. They talk about how breast reductions are like becoming just
I
insanely
saw that in my daily newsletter. So
So-
I read the Skim.
was it New York Times? Oh,
Or
no,
I also get the New York
I get the
Times.
Times too,
So maybe
the
it was in
Times.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, "Oh shit." That's like apparently becoming a very popular thing is to get breast reductions.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, yeah, well, like if because it talks about back pain in the
Mhm.
article and all the things that can potentially be bad or painful. And so yeah, why don't more people do it?
Yeah, it is major surgery and it's expensive.
That's exactly what the article
But
talks about. Yeah, it's like
also-
six figure or they talk
And
about
like
it
the
being-
recovery time sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, they talk about it like being 4 to 5 figures and
But
it's a
breast
major
reduction's
surgery
a lot of
that
time
can
you can get
impact.
insurance to cover some of it. Like my friend who has had a breast reduction, she
Oh.
only had to pay for her stay in the hospital. But granted, the plastic surgeon that she worked with, he said he's like, it is my goal for women who want breast reductions
To get
make
insurance.
sure you pay
as little
as
as
little as possible.
Oh, because that was part of the I remember reading the article. It talks about how the cost is high, insurance doesn't cover it, or majority of instances insurance doesn't cover it, and it's a major surgery, and so you're less likely to want to get a major surgery that could impact your ability to do certain things.
Yeah. And I think, I could be making this up, that breast reduction surgery is like, well, one, it's can be more like rougher scarring than breast implants.
Mm,
Because I know
maybe.
with breast reduction, don't they like take off the nipple and like pull
I don't know.
stuff out?
I don't. I have no idea.
Um,
It sounded aggressive in the article, and I was like, "Shit." 'Cause,
yeah.
yeah. I know a lot of people that I've come across that
But
have said, "Oh, I would 100% do a breast reduction."
Yeah, like myself. Like I've said that if I am to have kids and my boobs like change drastically if I like breastfeed
Yeah.
or whatever, and then being like, I don't want that.
Yep.
But then you have to think, okay, well, now you have kids. You're not going to be able to pick up your kids for a while after a breast surgery.
Yeah, you can't lift anything that's like 5 or more pounds.
Yeah. It's hard being a lady.
Yeah. No, but seriously, that article, like when I was reading through that, I was like, Jesus.
And hard to be a runner with a big chest.
I bet you there's not many runners with
You
big
have to
old titties.
really strap them down.
Yeah. No, that's not. They're the ones getting all these
And
breast
then,
reduction surgeries.
yeah,
The runners.
because,
Female
well,
runners.
in the article that I was reading, it was like, I think maybe it also talked about, or maybe this was something else. Maybe just like boobs are in my feed right now about like
Hey.
bras for like working out for large chested folks.
Oh.
And it's like a lot of people just end up wearing like 2 sports bras, which is what I
Yep.
will do a lot. And then that's hard when you're working out because you're like, "Ooh," like
Really
it's
sucked in.
really
It's real
tight.
tight.
And then
Tight.
taking off a sports bra when you are sweaty
Oh, it's the
is
worst.
like an Olympic sport. It
Oh,
is so hard
it
to
is.
do.
I
And
hate it.
I really don't like sports bras that have like a bra clasp. And a lot of you've probably never experienced this, like a lot of like bras that are marketed to larger chested ladies
Have a strap.
have that. And like, I'm like, no, I want something that I can just pull on
Yeah.
and be like stretchy and comfortable. And
But that's
it's
not,
hard.
yeah, those
But I
ones
was
don't
saying, I guess the
exist.
ones that like unhook and stuff would be easier to take off when you're sweaty.
I guess, but I also feel like when they're that tight sometimes, I imagine the clasp just snapping so quickly. You know, like
Yeah.
that's, I don't, I just, oof. I
Speaking
never,
of bras,
yeah.
you know what I want?
What?
The form posture correcting bra that Taylor Swift has.
Okay, so are they just using Taylor Swift's name to market that
Oh,
because she sells everything?
100%
I don't
because
actually think
that
she has it.
she does. There's a
Oh,
picture of her in it.
yeah, but AI, man, I'm telling you, you can't
No,
believe
I feel
anything you
like
see or
if
hear.
that was a thing, because she's like heavily in their marketing, she'd be like, that's inaccurate.
Yeah,
Like
man,
when Trump came out with those AI generated photos of her saying like, I endorse Donald Trump.
I
And
heard
she's
about
like,
that shit. That's
no, I did
crazy.
not.
Yeah, that shit's
um,
nuts. But I
but
just imagined it
but
was
even
probably
in
that.
her
Regardless, though, it sounds like a great product. I'm
I
interested
just
in
need
it.
to double down.
No, okay.
I think she's wearing it, I think, in some like documentary or video or something that she came out with. Like, oh, this is the making of this music video, or this is the blah blah blah. Or like she posted a picture of her like preparing for
Mm-hmm.
tour and she's in that bra. And so that's why I think they were like, yeah. Like they probably didn't know she bought this, but they saw the
Oh,
picture and were like,
okay.
yeah, she did. Anyways,
It sounds
I
awesome.
know someone who has one, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it really
Yeah, I
pulls
need
you
that.
back." And I keep not buying it because I think they're like $150.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're very expensive.
One bra.
Yeah,
One of these posture correcting bras.
maybe even more, like 150 to
How
200.
come things that are good for us and that can make things better for us?
Yeah, if you want something lacy with no support, $12.
Yeah. It's like all the good shit's more expensive. The quality food's more expensive. It's Jesus, man. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
Instead,
maybe
you
one
can get
day.
one of those shocker things that you put on your back and it shocks you every time your posture changes.
Oh,
And
geez.
those things are only like $30. It's like, of course.
If pain motivates you,
I
like a
didn't get
shock collar
one.
for a dog.
Yeah. No, I just
I
do
don't like that.
tried the strappy things, which I didn't love. So I'm curious how this bra strap would be, or the whole bra setup might be more comfortable. Because the things that you tie down and stuff, they're bulky. They're not as
Yeah.
comfortable. I've tried a couple of
Right.
those. But
Yeah, I think you gave me one to try,
yeah.
which I've yet to give back to you. And I think
Did you
I
try
wore
it?
it one day.
Didn't like it?
No, I
I
think I
didn't
did. I just now and then don't think to
put it on.
ever put it on.
I don't either. The only thing I remember to put on that I'll actively put on is just I have just a back brace
Yeah.
that I can strap myself into, and that actually just it's not for posture because it's not shoulders,
Right.
but it like makes my back feel more supported.
Yeah, I have one of those from when I fell down the stairs.
Yep, there you go. I used to have one when oh god, played basketball in college, and I had I literally wore a brace while playing
Oh my.
because I think this was I can't remember if I just had like a stress fracture or if this is when I actually like herniated my disc. But yeah, I had this brace that I wore, and in one of the games that I played, someone like grabbed the brace, like was trying to grab my jersey and wound up getting a hold of part of the brace.
Yeah.
And then like it's a joke with my athletic trainer friend about like how I puffed up like a big puffer. 'Cause, like for some reason when I was like, I guess that's how I responded to like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight you. But you know how like athletes don't actually swing, they just get all puffy.
Yeah, and get in your face.
Yeah, and so apparently I like puffed my chest up and I was like, "Dah, dah, 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 dah," said something.
Get my
God,
brace.
God knows what I said. I was like, touch me again, I'll beat the shit out of you. And you know, no
Probably
one's
didn't say anything, but you got puffy.
yeah, I got all puffy, and so that's the joke. But that's the a good memory.
Yeah. Well,
All
that's fun.
puffy. Apparently that's how you know I'm angry.
Yeah.
It's
You're a
puff.
fawn, a puffy fawn.
I'm a puffy chest fawn.
Yeah.
Oh, fawn. That's a great. I miss that nickname. That's
Do you want me to start calling you fawn?
it would be
When the
weird
next
if
time
you
we
did.
record, I'll say, "Hi, fawn."
It would be weird. Like,
Okay.
you know, I feel like there's a certain group of people, basketball, my teammates that called me fawn and my sorority friends that called me fawn.
Okay.
It would just
No,
it would make me feel weird.
it's okay. I don't associate you with fawn, so it's weird.
Exactly.
It'd be one of those things more so if you're like, I wish people called me fawn, then I would call you that
Yeah.
out of your desire to be called fawn.
Yeah. It's like if you called me Jenny too, I'd be like, that's
I
weird.
don't like that.
Because there's only 2 people in the world that call me Jenny.
Your brother,
My brother.
and I assume your mother or father.
No. Katie. Not our Katie, my Katie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who
Mom.
was
She was in the
pregnant
way.
at your bachelorette?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Katie. She calls me Jenny.
You know, it's weird. So, only certain people in my life call me Rach. Like my
That's how
soccer
that's how I
team
said it today.
called me Rach. Yeah. And I would say, and like my Skylar never calls me Rach. Like if he did, it'd be so
So weird.
strange. And like my childhood best friends, they never call me that.
Yeah.
It's like
It's just
the next tier.
okay.
Like you call me Rach, and I'm like, yeah, or like coworkers will call me Rach.
Yeah.
But it's weird that like my family
Doesn't.
does not. Now, 2 of my childhood best friends call me Chol.
Chol.
Yeah.
Chol's a unique one. Haven't heard that
Because we were
before.
making jokes about how like nicknames that are shortening of names is always the first half of the name. And we were like, yeah, it'd be like if you called me Chol.
Or called
And
me
that
Fur.
just, yeah, Chol stuck. And they still refer to me as Chol.
I think Chol's funny.
Yeah.
Chol's a good one.
Yeah. Now, my friend Julia, I do shorten her name to, we'll call her
Leah?
Jew. No.
That's aggressive.
But like J-U. We're just like, oh, hey, Jew. Because we also like abbreviate a lot.
Yeah, you said
And
that
then
in
I'll
public
see her.
though, and people are gonna
Okay.
be like,
Once we were at the airport and I was like, Jew. And then, because in my mind, it's not associated as being short for Jewish.
yeah,
It's short for Julia.
yeah.
And I was like, Leah.
Everybody's head snaps.
Yeah.
They're like,
Who's that anti-Semite over there?
who's yelling Jew? That's too
Doesn't it
funny.
sound like I'm like calling someone out like,
Yeah. No, exactly.
yeah, there's a Jew in the area.
Ouch.
Yeah, and a problem because, you know, people are mean towards
Yeah.
the Jewish.
Yeah.
It's weird. I was
really
like,
had
the
that over
Jews
the
is not
years.
bad, but I was like, it sounds weird to say the Jewish people. That's
Yeah.
better.
No, that's a funny nickname.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were going to say Leah.
Which is a normal name.
Well,
you
we
know?
talked about the second
Yeah.
half, you know.
I'm going to start calling you Niffer.
Niffer. That's hilarious. I just said fur and you're like Niffer.
Hey, Niff. We're just going in the middle.
Can I be a niffler?
Yeah, that kind of sounds like something dirty.
No, the niffler is the animal from Fantastic Beasts.
I haven't seen that.
And they're always after the gold. I'm a niffler at heart.
Yeah, that tracks. All right, I'm gonna shut us off. I don't
Shut
know
it
how
down.
long we've been speaking for. So, thank y'all so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Good ad. Good ad.
I honestly didn't know what to say. I was like,
You
yeah,
could say bye.
I'm here.
Ta-ta.
Hope you like it.
Hope you like it. Just gonna repeat whatever was last said.